Congratulations, if you have made it this far, it means you are doing the Aspire to Do for Unit 0. This Aspire to Do is going to center around email etiquette, and I like to start off the year with this one because you will be emailing a teacher or another student throughout the year for various things. And it's always nice to know the proper etiquette when sending out emails because they're helpful for your teacher to understand exactly what you need. So there are many schools of thought about email etiquette, what is important, what might not be as important. And so for this activity, we're going to look at it simply through a teacher-student lens and how it might apply to you. So I have 5 things to consider when sending an email. And I'll just talk about them briefly, and then what you're going to do for the extra credit points is you're going to send me an email that shows you can master these 5 things. So we'll get started here with number 1. It says, keep the subject line short and to the point. 5 words or less is usually enough. Of course, there's going to be exceptions sometimes, but really, the subject line is just that. What is the subject? It's just a quick synopsis of why you're sending this email. It's just for the reader to understand what is going to be, like the name implies, the subject when they open up and read the entire email. So we don't need to have a lot of words here, just something short and to the point. Less is more when it comes to the subject line. You don't want your entire email to be the subject line. I have had plenty of instances of that throughout the years of kids just emailing me exclusively through the subject line, and then the body of the email is completely blank. 2, please identify who you are, especially early on in the year, or if it's the first time you're interacting with this person. So if I'm emailing one of your parents, my subject signature line at the bottom does say, Brock Libby, 8th grade geography, how to get a hold of me and all that stuff. But it's also important to identify that just because we read emails like we read books, and so we're not going to jump to the bottom first and see who it's from. It's important that I identify who I am so that your parent or guardian knows that the person who's emailing them has this kind of connection, right, to you as well. And also for a teacher, it's nice because, if it's the first couple of days of class, even the first couple of weeks, we have 160 some kids. And if it just says, Tim Anderson, now I'm going into Infinite Campus and I'm trying to find, oh gosh, is Tim Anderson in my first hour? I think so. And I'm clicking through trying to find what hour you're in. So if it says, hey, this is Tim Anderson in your 3rd hour class, right away I know to go look to 3rd hour. I'm probably going to pull up your profile in Infinite Campus. Oh, yep, I know who that kid is. That helps me put a name with a face. So make sure you identify who you are. Thirdly, state what the problem is or what you need, and be very specific about it. I'll show you an example in a second, but just saying help or I don't get it isn't very useful because as a teacher, I don't know what you don't get. I don't know what part of the assignment you don't get. It's really hard for me to respond because how would I even respond to that? Like, what is the problem? Now you're sending another email being more specific, whereas if you did that ahead of time, you're getting an answer that much quicker because my first reply is probably going to help you. Now it's my second reply, and that could be minutes or hours or maybe even the next day before I get back to you. So, 4th, share what action you'd like the reader to do. Make sure when you're closing it out, you say, I would really appreciate it if you could blank, right? Get back to me as soon as possible. Grab me in class tomorrow and pull me aside and help me with this. Tell my Saints Time teacher that I want to come right to your room from 6th hour so I can save some time and get started right away. That helps the reader go, okay, there is something I need to do with this email, not just casually read it and put it in the trash. And then always be mindful of punctuation and grammar. It's, there's technology tools that help you with all the punctuation and the spelling and all that. So make sure you're taking time to do that as well. I'm going to show you two quick drafts. Now, this is an actual one that I received. I changed the name to just myself because I don't want to incriminate the person who sent it. But this is an actual email I got from somebody. And here you'll see the subject line is help. Well, it's less than 5 words. That's great. But it doesn't really tell me anything besides this person needs help. And then the body says, hey, I, lowercase, need help on the assignment because I, lowercase, don't, no apostrophe, really spelled wrong, get it. And so as a teacher, I look at this and say, well, I don't know what you don't get. On top of that, I don't know what assignment you're even talking about. You don't identify who you are. And so there's a lot of things going against here. Obviously, I can look it up because the sender name would be there and I could eventually look it up, but it kind of violates the rules of identifying who you are. And so here's that. This is a bad example, right? We do not want this. A good example would be this one. Okay, the subject line, 0.3 assignment, lesson or unit 0.3 assignment. Okay, right away as a teacher, I go, okay, this guy has a question about that assignment, right? Hi, Mr. Libby. He acknowledges me with a greeting. This is Timmy from third hour. Now, actually, probably what I should do is, well, he does say Timmy Anderson down here, but probably better if it says full name. This is Timmy Anderson, in case I have a couple, right? But he does say it down here, and of course the email up here. I could pull his last name, but if we wanted to be absolutely perfect, let's throw in a last name too. This is Timmy Anderson from third hour. So he's identifying himself, right? I was hoping you could help me with number 4 and number 5 on the 0.3 assignment. Again, he's identifying what he needs, okay? It asks, what is the largest continent? I wasn't sure if they meant population or by land size. So that's his problem. He doesn't know when they say largest, do they mean biggest? Sometimes those get interchanged. Does he mean largest by most people or largest in terms of size? And then there's an action item for me, right? Can you let me know so I can finish it correctly and stay on pace? Thank you, not thanks you. Whoops. Okay. Timmy Anderson. Okay. So now on my end, I know I should reply to him and say, yes, they are asking by land size for number 4 and 5. Thanks for reaching out. Hope you can finish it tonight, whatever it may be. Okay. So you can see how this might be helpful, because if it was just, hey, I need help, and he sends it at, 5 o'clock at night. I do check email after school, but maybe I check it at 7, right? And I go, what do you need help with, right? If we're looking at the first, if we jump back to this first one, right? And he sends this at 5 o'clock, let's say, and I respond back at 7. What do you need help with? You're not really giving me a lot of information. And then maybe he responds back with the more specific, I need help on number 4 and number 5, right? Like we just read. And maybe he responds at 11 at night, and I'm sleeping already. So then I see it in the morning, and I don't get to help him until he probably shows up in class that day, right? Whereas if he had done that right away at 5, I'm responding at 7. He answers those 2 questions in 5 minutes, and now he's done for the night, right? Instead of having to wait until the morning to get it done. So that's where that comes into play. So what does this mean for you? I need you to craft an email to me to, not this one, not that one. Oh, geez, let's see here, to Brock, right? To brock.libby@isd15.org. And you're basically, it can just be anything. It can really just make it about the aspire to do. Just say, hey, just do those 5 things. Have the subject be 5 words or less. So the subject could be how to properly compose an email, or aspire to do for Unit 0. Identify who you are. Identify what you need or what you want me to know. Just say, hey, just want you to know I watched the video on how to compose a proper email. I am following the 5 criteria that you listed at the beginning of the video. Nothing's really needed on your end except to give me 3 bonus points, extra credit points for the extension activity. Thank you. Have a nice day, right? Sign off with your name and you're done, okay? So if you've watched this video, you'll know the assignment, what's expected of you. You can pause it as you're doing it. It doesn't really matter to me, but that is what you need to do for the extra credit. So have fun, and I look forward to a year of properly crafted emails.